Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today and welcome to AISD Athletics. My name is Kevon Liebert and I'm the Public Relations Director for Austin ISD Athletics. I'm joined by Coach Leal Anderson, Athletic Director for AISD. Coach Anderson, how are you today?
Doing well, Kevon. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, as we get started, let's help the community get to know you a little bit better. Where did you grow up?
I actually grew up right outside Oklahoma City in a small town called Prague. I was really fortunate, got a chance to play in a lot of athletics growing up in that town. Got a chance to play football, basketball, baseball, track. Had a really great experience in high school. Got a chance to play in 3 state tournament teams growing up, and so it was just a great experience. Did get an opportunity to play college basketball at Oklahoma Wesleyan and transferred from there to the University of Oklahoma where I got my business degree. And then since then, I moved here to Austin, Texas. I worked for a company called National Instruments for a few years before getting into teaching and coaching. And I actually was fortunate to teach and coach at Anderson High School for 10 years. And so had a great experience there. I did my master's at UT in sports management. And so now I've taken over as athletic director, and I just really want to serve the kids in the district and support our coaches.
Gotcha. So after 10 years of being a coach at Anderson High School, what drew you to the athletic director position?
Well, it's all about the kids. I knew that this was a great opportunity to help kids in the district. There's approximately 14,000 student athletes that participate in athletics, and I know that every decision that I make every day is going to ultimately impact those kids. And so it's about helping kids have an opportunity to be successful and accomplish the goals they have set for themselves in their lives.
Okay, so what exactly are the responsibilities of an athletic director?
Well, there's many. There's a number of schools in AISD. There's 12 high schools, 19 middle schools, so there's a total of 31 schools in our district. And so ultimately I'm responsible for the athletic programs in all of those schools, the middle schools and the high schools, and really just making sure that all the kids have a chance to be successful. We want a successful program at every school, and that's something that we're working towards.
Gotcha. So you took over the athletic department this past spring. What are new initiatives that you implemented since you've taken over?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, I just really want to promote our athletics programs. That's something that I think is huge. We've got great kids in the district. We've got some great coaches, and so we want to highlight those kids and those programs and those coaches that are out there. Another thing, we want our high schools and our middle schools working together. So we've been working on an alignment plan so that our middle school coaches are working with our high school coaches, and the kids at the middle schools are also on the campuses of the high schools so they can build that relationship and kind of develop that relationship with each other. So that's how successful programs are built and grown, and so we're working on establishing that plan and working on that relationship. So between those couple of items, those are things that we're working on. And again, it's about making sure that we're putting the kids first in everything that we do and moving forward from there.
Okay, so for the people of the Austin community, let's talk about the impact of athletics on them. Talk to me about the vision and the mission of the athletic department.
Well, the vision, again, goes back to the kids having an opportunity to learn. And we want them to be passionate learners throughout life. We know that they're not going to be in an athletics program forever, but we do believe that if we can create an environment in that athletics program that's going to foster integrity, discipline, structure, those are things that they're going to stick with them for the rest of their lives. And as they come through these programs and they graduate, well, they're going to become productive members of society. And that's what it's really about, is becoming productive members of society. We know some will go to college, not all, but we want that opportunity to be there for everyone so that when they leave your program, they can go out and be successful at whatever it is they set out to do.
Gotcha. Now, how about your core values? I know you have some core values aligned for the district. How do they play a role in that?
Well, we've aligned our values with AISD. It's for accountability, integrity, structure, and discipline. And these are things that I think are really important for all of our athletics programs. And I've asked all of our coaches, to come up with core values that align with those core values at their schools so that the kids are learning, again, concepts that are going to be, that are going to stick with them throughout the rest of their lives. And so these are things that are important as a district And as our coaches are implementing their core values at their school that align with these core values that we have as a district, I know that kids are going to be successful, and that's what it's really all about.
So is there a plan for the coaches to implement it? How are they going to do that and get it out to all the kids?
Well, it's an everyday process. At this point, they've got those established at the campus, and they're going to reference those values every day, and they're going to teach the kids. And that's the great thing about athletics. Athletics is an extension of the classroom. And what happens is, through whether you're winning or losing, there's so many opportunities to sit down and learn about the things that are taking place. For example, if you win a game, then there's some lessons that could be learned from that. If you lose a game, there's other lessons that could be learned about how you've got to maybe prepare better or prepare in a different way or work harder to achieve your goal. And so there's so many different ways to reach out to the kids through athletics, and that's what we want our coaches and our kids doing.
Oh, gotcha. Now, over the years, there's been a misconception that athletics interferes with the learning process. However, the facts don't support that, all right? So how does athletics actually play a role in academics?
Well, it's huge. And again, like I said before, athletics is an extension of the classroom. And so we actually have a study that shows that those that are involved in athletics or any other extracurricular activity, they actually do better in school. The attendance rates are higher for the student athletes versus the non-student athletes. The discipline rates are lower. The kids are getting less in trouble. The promotion from one grade level to the next is also higher. The reading, math, social studies, those scores are higher as well. And overall, the graduation rate for the student athletes is more than 16% higher for student athletes versus the non-student athletes. And so, again, I think maybe the misconception is that they're taking time away from the classroom. There is some time that's taken, but that time is spent, the kids are learning. And so that's something that I think is a big value. And so when you have those different things coming together, again, it goes back to educating the entire child and making them successful.
So you're talking about misconceptions right now. I think this is a perfect time for our Did You Know segment. So AISD did a little bit of research a few years ago, and they found some interesting statistics that many in the community might not know about. All right, one big myth that I've heard for a long time is that too much of the budget is going into athletics. Now, I was asked to guess what the percentage is of the budget that goes to athletics, and being a coach, I thought I had a pretty good idea of what that percentage was. I thought it would be 4% higher, 5-6%, but I was actually wrong. What is it?
Well, it's actually less than 0.5% of the budget, the overall operating budget that goes towards athletics. And so there's not a lot of money that's put towards it, yet the return, I believe, is great. And so that's something that I think is a very valuable investment, into the athletics programs. And when you have coaches that are spending their time pouring into the lives of the kids, they spend a lot of, time, at night and on the weekends, preparing game plans and those kind of things. And they're investing a lot of their time into the kids' lives. And so that's something that, is great. And that's something that we'll continue to do. But overall, again, from an operating perspective, there's not a lot of money that is invested compared to the amount of return that you're going to get. So we're definitely in support of that.
Now, I'm going to go back to something you touched on a second ago because we're talking about, misconceptions, myths, and all that stuff. Now, another great fact is that student attendance for school is higher for athletes versus non-athletes. Can you touch on that again? What do you think contributes to them being able to have a higher attendance?
Well, it goes back into that relationship that a coach develops with the player. When they're involved with, a coach with the amount of time that's spent throughout the season. And a lot of the kids are playing year-round, sports at this point. And but there's a lot of time that's spent there between a coach and an athlete. Well, that student athlete is now plugged in to, the athletics program more. And they're going to spend more time invested maybe than someone else. And so when you have that, they're going to attend at a higher rate. And we have the numbers that show that. That show that the attendance is higher for student athletes, and that's something that's huge. And when you look at some of the goals that Dr. Cruz has set for the district, attendance is one of them. And I do truly believe that athletics can help those attendance numbers for the district.
Now, so speaking of attendance and Dr. Cruz's goals, attendance means that the kids are coming to school, they're learning, they're in the classroom, they're getting education. So the graduation rates have also gone up. And you said earlier that it's 16% higher for athletes than non-athletes. So overall, we're seeing that athletics has a huge role in academics. So
it does, and they're the athletics. It is academic. Those are things. It's the same thing. Again, what the kids are learning in the classroom, they're learning those same lessons on the court, on the field, in the swimming pool, on the track, wherever. I think that they are directly aligned. I think that they're really important, and those are things that we'll continue to stress with all of our coaches and with all the kids. And again, there's a lot of different, mindsets, here in Austin regarding that. But I think that, once people see that the kids are involved and they're doing more and they're actually doing better, then that support for athletics will be there.
Gotcha. All right, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about current happenings in the district. What are your goals for the current school year?
Well, our goals is to support our coaches, support our kids in their athletic endeavors. I think that's something that's really important. Again, we want them being successful in everything that they do. And it takes a lot of time and effort outside of the, classroom. And so it's really in supporting them. I know that one of the things that I know is really important is just being there for them. Because when you think about, if you go to a football game or a basketball game, every kid that's there has done everything that they're supposed to do in order to be out there performing. They've passed all their classes. They've been to class on time. The UIL says that if you don't pass, you can't play. And so everyone that's there has done that. All the cheerleaders that are there, all the band members that are there, all the drill team, everyone that's there that's traveled on that bus, they've done everything that they're supposed to do in order to be able to compete on that night at a high level. And so I think it's great when you go to an athletics event just because they've done all the things that everyone in the district is asking all the kids to do. And so that's really fun to watch.
So at a typical football game, it's really a celebration of the students and all that they've been able to achieve. Because like you said, if you see football players, cheerleaders, drill team, band, everybody involved, in order for those athletes to be there, in order to get on the bus, in order for the band members to be there, they all have to pass.
They do. They do.
So athletics, fine arts, it's all driving up the graduation rate and helping with attendance overall.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's not just athletics that we've seen these numbers for. It's fine arts. It's anything that a student is involved in extracurricular. If they're involved in anything extracurricular, it really gives them that hook or that tie-in to be at the school. And when they're at the school, they're going to do better with their academics. They're just going to do better in general. They're not doing other things outside of the school day that's going to be maybe detrimental to their health or otherwise. There was a great study from the Harvard Educational Review that showed that extracurricular activities is one of the few interventions that actually really helps the student athletes be involved with what's going on, and it also helps them be involved in keeping them off the streets and those kind of things. And I think that that's huge, and especially in a day and age when there's so many things out there that can distract you from being successful, just in terms of drugs, alcohol, teen pregnancy. There's so many things that are out there, but if you're involved and you're spending your time, with a coach, or you're spending your time competing or at practice, then you have a less of an opportunity for some of those more negative things that are out there.
So now that the community and people understand the value of athletics, extracurricular activities, all these different things, how can they get more information about what's going on in the community?
Well, there's a couple different ways to get involved. One of the ways is, we've started an athletic director advisory council. Our next meeting is going to be on December 3rd. It's at Berger Center down south. And ideally, we're trying to get, one or two parents from every school to come out and to visit and to give their input, from an athletics perspective as to what's needed, from the campus, and to also work on, a message and a campaign for the next bond proposal. And so that's something that's really huge. We've got those meetings scheduled throughout the year. That's when the next one will be. But there's also so many other ways to get involved. We have a newsletter that we come out with monthly now. There's a lot of information in there that you can get so that you can kind of stay involved as to what's taking place from the district's athletics perspective. And so I think that that's great. And also athletics is on social media now. AISD Athletics is on Facebook and on Twitter, Instagram. And so I think that's a way that's actually been growing a lot here recently. And I know Dr. Cruz has a big initiative, an AISD Proud initiative, and that's something that is really big for the district. So athletics is right on board with supporting that initiative as well. And so that's another avenue to get a lot of information from through the social media networks. And so there's a number of ways to get involved. And so I think that all of those are beneficial, and I hope that everyone will join in and follow us.
Oh. Now, AISD only has 3 football stadiums for 11 high schools. All right, what is athletics doing to help with this issue?
Well, we've got 3 really great stadiums at Nelson Field and House Park and Berger. And, those stadiums are great. There's also a stadium in East Austin, Yellow Jacket Stadium is something that has been in AISD for a while, but not necessarily used as much. And so we're actually working on an initiative to try to, get that stadium reopened for some sub-varsity games for next year. We're really crowded in terms of the number of games that we have to play. That's one of the reasons why we have so many Thursday night games and Friday night games, because we have a lot of teams that have to play. But in addition to that, soccer is growing. And so that's something else that's been growing with the popularity of the World Cup this past year. The popularity in soccer is growing. So just having an additional venue to play games at is something that is going to really help us. And so, again, we're working to get that stadium in line and open. I think it's something that will help the community as well. And so I think it's a great thing, and I like where we're headed in that direction.
So you talked about soccer. So at Berger Stadium, they're opening a new soccer field, right?
That is correct. We're actually in construction with a new soccer field at Berger Stadium right now, and I think it's something that's needed, again, because of the growth of athletics. It's in construction now. Plan is to be open in January, and we'll start to schedule some soccer games there. We'll also play football on it as well in the fall, and so that's something that's needed and will help us. The city of Austin is growing a lot. There's a lot of people that are moving to Austin, and the sports teams and programs are also growing, and so that's something that we're just trying to be out ahead of in terms of dealing with the growth with some of the teams that are taking place. Now,
along the same lines with all of this, so we have 3 football stadiums. Traffic in Austin is a mess. What are you going to do to help teams get to games?
That's something that is a challenge. If you get on I-35 almost at any time, it's a parking lot, and they're doing construction right now on Mopac and trying to make that a little bit wider and more traffic going through there. And it's been a big deal with realignment this year. We've got 6A. The 5A is the new 6A, and the 4A is the new 5A. And so we've actually have more teams in our athletic district at this point. And so teams are traveling further. And so, we've worked with transportation to try to get some help in terms of some drivers that could help drive for athletic trips. And so we've done that. That's been helpful. But we still have coaches that drive as well. And so just kind of working between those two things to try to help get our kids to the contest on time is huge. But again, we do play a lot of games and we travel a long ways. And so we're just trying to make sure that we can do everything we can to get our kids to the contest on time.
Gotcha. Now, with that, not many fans have heard about the new UIL classifications. Can you explain the new 6A district?
Right. So, with the UIL comes out with a realignment every 2 years, and this is one of the realignment years. And so what's happened in this year is that there's been a new classification that's been created, which is 6A. And that's something that's new. 6A has not existed before. It's actually the schools that were the old 5A from last year. and the old 4A schools are the new 5A. And so now you've got 6A and 5A schools in Austin ISD. That is something that's different at the lower levels. There's a small difference there. The six-man football became 1A. We don't have any schools that are that small, so it doesn't really affect us. But just in terms of 6A and 5A, it's a reclassification. There's more schools in our district. Hayes and Lehman were added to the 6A district. Bastrop and Cedar Creek were added to the 5A district. And that's great. We're happy to have those in our district, and again, we'll be traveling to those places to play, and they'll be traveling to play Austin ISD schools as well. So a bit of a change up there, but it is again something that is beneficial, I think, and it's been some good contests so far this year, so we're excited about it.
Yeah, now the fall season is coming to a close soon. We're about to hit playoffs for volleyball, for tennis, for cross country, for football. The winter sports are right around the corner. What are our winter sports?
Well, the winter sports are, basketball, boys and girls, and that's something that's coming up. And then, after that, baseball will be coming up, and track and everything, and wrestling. And so we've got a number of sports that are coming up, and they're excited to get their seasons kind of kicked off in the new 6A and 5A district. And so it'll be exciting. I've got a chance to get out and watch a lot of different teams participate and play, and just being there just to support them. And so that's been really fun to watch the kids play at a high level.
All right, so let's talk some more about the coaches and the kids that make up our great district. How important is athletics in pushing kids towards college?
Well, I think it's huge. I think it provides them an opportunity to potentially play in college. Perhaps gain a scholarship. I know that's one of the things that we've worked with some of the coaches, was developing a showcase for some of the football athletes that'll be coming up in the spring, so that we can kind of highlight some of the players that participate, and invite some college coaches to come out and to visit and watch the players work out. And so that's something. We'll also invite some of the news media crews out so they can watch the kids work out. And it'll be a Central Texas football showcase where there'll be some AISD schools, but some other schools there is from Round Rock, Leander, and so forth. And they'll come there and get a chance to compete and work out. And again, the college coaches will be there. But I think those opportunities will help kids get into college, but also just the academics part of it. One of our mottos is, we want to teach more than the game. Yeah. And so that's something that I think is really important. And when you have the life lessons that you're learning through the core values that are taught through athletics, then you're going to have a better chance of being successful when you get into college. And so that is something that will stick with you. And there's a ton of studies that show that and show the importance of that. Again, I think that, getting to college is important. And I know not everyone will go. We want everyone to go. But those who participate in athletics will have a great opportunity, I believe, to go to college.
Now, the ones that don't go to college, how can athletics help them?
Well, again, it goes back to the study that we looked at, where, it's going to help everyone in terms of, the teen pregnancy, smoking, drug addiction, all of those things that take place, that are out there in our society are very real things that, that a lot of kids have to deal with. Mm-hmm. And so, when you have less time to do those things because you are practicing, or because you just simply don't want to, because you want to have your body in tip-top shape for your next competition, well, that's something that I think is really important. Definitely. And it will take away your time, because you're spending more time, working out and getting ready to go. And so those things will help as well.
Gotcha. Now, along the road with the coaches, Bowie High School recently lost a beloved coach to cancer. Can you tell us a little bit more about Jason Landers, what he meant as a coach, and how we renamed the AISD volleyball tournament in his honor? Jason
Landers, great coach, great guy. He was the Bowie head women's volleyball coach, and everyone just really loved Jason. Had a great family. He's got 3 daughters as well that remain, and so it was just a sad situation. He passed away from liver cancer, and so that's something that's been really difficult on the Bowie community, and it's been really hard. And so, He's going to be missed. One of the things that AISD Athletics did just to honor him was just to rename the tournament. There's approximately 30-team tournament that takes place at the start of the year, and that tournament was renamed in his honor. And so that will remember him, and we'll continue to do that. We're also working with a foundation, the Liver Cancer Foundation, in order to raise a donation to give some monies to them as well. And Coach Vicki Benson at Bowie, she's the head basketball coach, is also filled in to coach volleyball for this year. Gotcha. And so that's something that's been a big help from her. But he'll be missed. He's done a great job with the athletes there. But that's something that we did just to honor and remember him.
Now, the Bowie girls ended up winning the tournament, correct?
They did. They ended up winning the tournament. I was really proud of their accomplishments and what they did. And so, again, just a testament to that community pulling together. And it's still hard, but they did, they were able to kind of pull together and rally around that victory.
I also seen the whole AISD community rally around. I know there was a game the other day, Austin High versus Anderson. Bowie's not involved, and they're supporting Coach Landers and his family, where they had T-shirts made up to support breast cancer and liver cancer. So the whole Austin community has pulled together to really support him. It's been a real big deal.
Absolutely, and that's what we want in all of our communities throughout the district. They are really little small communities and small, teams, if you will. And so if we want everyone pulling together to support not only their community, but AISD athletics as a whole.
Definitely. Now, how does athletics help kids deal with situations in life such as cancer?
Well, it gives them someone to rely on. If you're participating in an athletics program, you've got your teammates there that you're spending a lot of time in practice and in games, going through tough situations with. And so you've got that teammate that's going to be there that's a really close-knit partner that you're developing that bond with. You've also got that coach that's there as a mentor, as a leader, for that player and for that team. And so I think those two things, having that really close-knit relationship between those individuals, those are things that will really help.
Yeah, definitely. I know in my own life that athletics has helped sports just in general with difficulty situations that come up. It helps you be able to persevere through little things, through difficult circumstances. You're able to fight through. And so, I think that's a real huge thing for these athletes to learn, especially with situations like this.
Absolutely. And again, there's a lot of situations out there that, a lot of kids are in tough situations.
They are.
And we have them in AISD.
Yeah.
But again, if you have someone that you can rely on and call upon because you spend so much time with them, that's where I think a lot of people may not recognize, the value in that and how that will help that player, get through some of the challenges. And a lot of times, and I've had stories, where the kids they'll go and talk to a coach and they'll tell them more than they will their teacher or even sometimes their parents.
Yes.
And so that's something that I think is really special when you have that special relationship. And you could probably ask any player in the past about some special coach or they had in their life or how that really helped them get through, some circumstance or certain situation. And that's something that I think is great. You need that person in your life that you really feel you can count on when times do get hard.
I definitely understand that. I had a coach, my football coach, basketball coach in high school that was there like that, Coach Mood, and he made an impact on my life where I wanted to one day coach, teach, do something like that because of the great impact that coach made, and you make that connection. So it's really great to see our athletes make that connection.
Absolutely, Kevon. And that's one of the things, again, I think is really important. And we have that going on now. We want to continue to grow that. And when everyone sees that going on, I mean, you're gonna have all of AISD become better, the city of Austin become better, the whole community, the state of Texas, the United States, and so I just think that there's so many positive benefits that correlate with participation, and so we want to increase our participation in our athletics programs and grow them, and we want quality individuals from coaches all the way down to the kids, and so
sir,
that's
definitely
huge.
Now, finally, how can parents and fans get involved with their child's athletic programs directly?
Well, just helping out. There's a lot of support that we need. They can help out in terms of the Booster Club. They can join that. They can visit, go to their child's games. That's something, just being there for them, knowing that they're cheering for them in the stands. I think that's something that's huge. But just being there, being involved. There's so many ways, like I just talked about, through the newsletter, through email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that they can be involved, social media-wise as well. And so, really, I think that we do need parents that are involved, that are helping out in every way that they can to support not only their child but the overall team in the school. And I think if we do that, we'll start to grow our community much stronger than it already is, and that's something that's going to make the city of Austin better.
Can the parents use that hashtag AISD proud?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
If you're going to get on there and tweet, hashtag AISD proud, anything that's out there that you're proud of in the district, we definitely want to get that out there, and we definitely want to promote that and support that. There's a lot of things to be proud of in this district. I'm proud to be a part of it. And so, again, we just want to promote all of our student athletes, all of our coaches, all of our programs, and so that everyone is doing the best they can with what they have to be successful.
Coach Anderson, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and look forward to having a successful athletic school year with all those involved. And thank you for joining us as well. My name is Kevon Liebert, and with Coach Anderson, we hope you join us again next time. This has been AISD Athletics, where we believe that we are teaching more than the game.